Hello and welcome everyone to the Wednesday, July 19th edition of the SIG ContribEx biweekly meeting. As usual, a reminder that we have a code of conduct that we operate under, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. I like your new name, Bob.
Thanks.
I don't think there's anyone new on today. But if there is anyone new on or anyone who would like to introduce themselves, I would like to open that opportunity to you now. Hold on that for a second. Cool. I think we're good. All right, I'm being amused at folks on the call. Anyway, let's move into our regular agenda then. Our first item of discussion is the Contributor Summit, which I don't think anyone, like our main lead of the Contributor Summit isn't on today. I know Bob and I and Josh, I think too, several of us were on the Contributor Summit call earlier this week. So does anyone want to start updates from that? If they think there's anything worth mentioning.
It's kicking off.
Yeah, it's just kind of
still early.
Still getting like the space confirmed and all of that. Was the main updates in the last one. Any questions about Contributor Summit that folks have on their minds? All right. Well, that's rolling along. If you do have any questions, you know where to ask.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess Nigel's not here, but I wasn't in the meeting on Monday. So
okay.
The Contributor Summit is mostly right now just assembling people.
Yeah.
And trying to get the last few role handbooks filled in. So since it's a ways out, and there's not actually a whole lot to do at the moment.
Pretty much sums it up. So we'll move on from Contributor Summit. You know where to ask questions if you have any. You can ask in the channels or here. Not that we'll know the answers. So moving on to mentoring. Any updates on mentoring right now?
I don't know how the customized group cohort is doing. That's underway.
Good to know.
I put an issue down because we need external DNS needs to actually do a reviewer cohort, a group mentoring thing, because all 4 of the maintainers for that no longer work on it as part of their jobs, and as a result don't have a whole lot of time to spend on it, and they are accumulating unreviewed PRs. So we actually need to help them set up a group cohort so that they can actually try to cultivate new maintainers.
That does sound important.
I can't add that to the notes right now. I am locked out of Google Docs for reasons I don't understand.
Caslin put it all in the notes.
I got you.
Okay, cool. Yep.
All right. Noted. Also, I didn't put the link to the notes. There we
I also
go.
believe the LFX stuff is kicking off.
Yeah, and after spending some time with Sage last week, I'm going to be trying to get going and outreaching again on the CNCF level, which would include Kubernetes, obviously.
Okay.
I need to look at what's involved financially, because outreach doesn't work the same way as it used to. But they really would like us to participate.
Good to know. So we'll look into LFX and outreaching in the future. Talk more about that later. Anything else on mentoring? Can move on that. Okay. Can always come back. Contributor comms.
I wonder.
You know the joke.
I wonder
you said
who
it in your
could.
head.
I wonder who could say something about contributor comms.
Who could it be?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more I need to type in here from our last meeting, but I think the biggest thing is there's a SIG update, just the SIG, that we can do at KubeCon, and I was assembling an outline for it so that we could put a slide together and have somebody say the things. Is that the way we want to proceed?
From what I've heard, that sounds like the plan. We'll put
Got it.
together the rough content. We'll pick
Mhm.
out who will give the actual video and get it recorded. Sounds
Got it.
good to everybody?
Yeah. In fact, actually, one of the items that was asked for this is just like, if you know of good items that should be mentioned in there, now's a good
Mhm.
time to do it. The big thing we didn't do one at EU, right?
No, this would be the first time we're doing one.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's only a minute, so we
Yeah.
can't do a whole, like, we can't hit every sub project potentially or whatever.
No. It's just like the couple big announcements, like
Mhm.
the one that I am hoping gets completed is the code spaces stuff merged into KK. So
Ooh,
we can announce that the course is fully operational.
And we should
Alright.
announce the change of leadership.
yes. Change of leadership. All right, I do have a doc going. I need to share that. Hang on. Yeah, anyone with the link?
Yeah. But it's literally like just the top 3 bullet points. Like you're not gonna have time for
Yeah, like
for
that's
more.
it. Like,
Yeah.
hi,
Perfect.
this is who
That's
I
2 out
am
of
on the
3.
SIG. Yeah, right. Like, so now what's the third thing? We'll figure it out between now
Yeah.
and then. Yeah. And basically I'm gonna give you 2 sentences or 2 bullet points on each to formulate sentences, however you want to do it. And then there you go. This doc that I just dropped in chat, it has the outline that's going to get eventually fully adapted, but there's also FAQ at the bottom for anybody that wants to go look at one from last time, or if they need any resources. Caslin and a few folks did a great maintainer track session last KubeCon on
And we'll be doing one
ContribEx.
at this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So like,
probably
yeah.
the other call to action would be like, come swing by the meet and greet or whatever we potentially rename it to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Meet and
Wow. Read.ai just popped up.
I thought I banned it. Is it in here?
It's in
yeah,
here.
it is. Good Lord.
Thanks, Joel.
I need to find out who that is
Indeed.
and kick them
How
off the
they're adding
list.
it?
Well, these things basically you sign into your account
Right. And they
and
use your
it signs
identity.
in. Yeah, uses your identity to do it.
Yeah.
And it just automatically signs into anything on your calendar?
Yep.
Pretty much. It's wild, dude. Like, whoever
Every-
created these tools did not think of the actual meeting maintainers in the process.
It records everything. It does. And this is the first one to actually have some sort of controls for the other people in there. All the
Yeah,
others.
well, the
have
other thing
basically
to
just
do would be to file a ticket with Zoom about how we can just block it entirely.
I have,
Yeah. They
and they
Mhm.
can't.
yeah.
We block the domains that they're supposed to be coming from, but because they're proxying as the user, we can't block them.
So
Is there any kind of JSON log ID from this user that we could line up to somebody else or anything? I don't know. Like how did it even get here?
It's
Yeah,
weird that it popped in like 15 minutes into the meeting.
Right? Right.
Also,
Well-
sorry to like diverge on this topic.
That is a relevant thing because
Well,
it came up
yeah.
in contributor comms too. Obviously, this person has all of the ContribEx meetings at least on their calendar. So it's just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, like I have the domain blocked in Zoom, but yeah.
But yeah.
Oof.
You gotta hit
That's a
all the
thing.
domains.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And somebody already kicked off Joel.
Yeah. It
Okay.
looks like it. I don't see it on here anyway.
Wait,
so.
no, I don't even know anymore. Who's that?
That's Bob.
That's
Oh,
Bob.
okay. Got it. Okay.
I appreciate
That's
that
the
joke.
Bob.
It's good.
That's the Bob.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So that aside, thank you, Chris, for being willing to push forward this work. I at least really appreciate that you're willing to like help collect all of that information, just like get it going. So it's there.
Yes. So somebody can then say, all right, I'll say this.
Yep. The more we distribute the work, the more chance we have of at least getting parts of it done, right?
Yeah,
Something,
there's
something,
like
something.
a slide template and everything. So like, and if you need help recording it, I can help you with that too. That kind of thing.
Cool. Much appreciated. Thank you. And you put in one other update in contributor comms, which is lovely.
Sujay's actually here. So
yeah. So Jay,
would
would you like to speak to it?
I'd like him to say it.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it.
We can hear you.
Slackbot.
Yeah, Slackbot. So
Yeah.
after adding it in all the channels Bob mentioned, it is working. Chris and we tested in the last comms meeting, and it was working fine. And we were able to post messages in multiple channels. So yeah.
Yeah.
So after months and months of confusion and us not really knowing what was going on with that, Sujay pushed through it and figured out what was going on and
knocked
fixed
it out.
it.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it so much.
But I think it was all done. This last step was remaining.
But no one
Mhm.
knew how to do
Mhm.
it. So just figuring that out is enough of a task of itself, as you've learned.
And we're bookmarking this issue. Got it.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Anything
so we have a PR open to add some new folks into shadow and positions. But I don't know if that merged yet.
And we also have a PR open for the Slackbot documentation that we found, right? To actually add that into the repo.
Yes. Issue at least.
Yeah, I will open a PR today or maybe tomorrow.
And then the PR is open to update leads and shadows. If you can find those and if you want to put them in the notes, I'd appreciate that. I'm not going to go find those links right now. Unless someone really wants them. Cool. So I think that's it.
But yeah, that's
comms.
pretty much
Anything
it
else?
from
Yeah.
us right now. Yeah.
Any questions about comms? All right. Sounds good. Contributor documentation. How's that contributor course going, Bob? Since we already mentioned that once.
Yeah.
So-
We'll know once things are merged.
So
Sounds
he
good.
said he was gonna merge it last time, I thought, right?
Yeah,
Or-
I poked him again today,
Okay.
and calling out that we want to mention this on
Thank you.
stage. So
Yes, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, if he needs help, we're here.
We don't actually have like a bullet for that. I guess I'll just add one contributor course. Awaiting merge. Yeah, it's in progress, which is lovely.
Mhm.
Any other contributor guide or contributor site stuff you want to talk about? I think there is one update that we could share there, which is both a comms update and a contributor documentation site. We have a new tech lead
Yes.
for comms to help us out with the contributor site. Sujay.
Welcome to Hugo.
So we'll have to explore that a little bit with you and see what you want to learn and what you want to take on there. That has been an ongoing thing for our group, is like figuring out how much we can take on with the contributor site. And a lot of it is just like learning Hugo and the tools that it's made out of. understanding that better.
And I can help you there. So can Bob, if he has time. Not speaking for him.
So that's one
Yeah,
thing.
sure.
Yeah,
Sounds like a lot to learn.
that's
It's
lot
like
of
one of
the
those things
role.
though that like once you know it, you're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. So yeah. It all kind of works. Until you want to update a thing, then it doesn't.
which is an issue at the moment, which maybe we'll talk about more at the contributor summit again.
Oh, I'm actually
well,
gonna be at this one. We could actually do something. Yeah, okay.
we
let's
did a
do
nice
that.
working session last time where we made some progress on an issue where we need to update a component of the contributor site, and there's some customization that's causing issues there.
Oh, cool.
So we had a bunch of folks sit around at a table and work on a solution. Didn't fully solve it, but solved part of it. So might be a good thing to do again.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. All right, moving on to moderation and media. Nigel isn't in today. Does anyone know of any updates about Zoom, Slack, YouTube stuff? Sounds like not. Moving right along then. GitHub management. Anything there?
Someone has detected at your backyard.
Sounds like not. All right. No updates can be good updates. So shall we move into the open mic discussion? Bob, you have something in there?
Mentioned it earlier. We're just asking for items to, yeah.
Steering election. So we've selected the election officers who've been approved. They are now working on the timeline for the election, which will need to be approved by steering. Oh wait, we have one election officers here.
Yes.
Hello, election officer.
Hello. Yeah, as you were saying, we're working on getting the schedule together. We're kind of syncing up and getting up to date on all of the things that we need to be doing and on what timeline and all of that, making the timeline, selecting leads for comms, and what was the other thing?
Infra, which
Comms and
fortunately this team of
leads.
EOs has somebody on the team for each of those.
Yeah.
Which is
So,
easier.
it's moving along. I was just wondering earlier, should we add, since elections is a sub project now, which hopefully will
Mhm.
be doing things, should we add that as a regular check-in in our template for this meeting?
Yeah, I guess we can. We'll see if we end up doing anything the rest of the year, but for at least the next 2 months, there's going to be something to report.
Actually, one other election that's going to be coming to is the Code of Conduct.
Okay.
And it's gonna be happening soon.
Yeah. There was some reason why there was some kind of a different tool used for that. I think because it had to be confidential.
No, we used Electo last time.
Oh, we did. Okay. Okay. No, use Electo for the GB rep. You didn't use it for Code of Conduct for some reason.
I'm pretty sure we did for at least one of them.
Yeah, for GB rep.
Okay.
Because all our past elections are in there, so I can see. I think Code of Conduct you didn't want the election to be public, which is not something that Electo does.
Yeah, no.
It's a little challenging for a GitOps based election to be non-public. We'd have to spin up an entirely separate instance of Electo and base it off of a private repo. And it doesn't seem worth it.
No,
Don't even say it. Don't even say
not
it.
worth it.
Yep.
Don't even put that energy out in the universe.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. I didn't take any notes about that. But I did add the election updates as a regular thing in the template. So going forward, we'll check in on that each time. Any other items about the election or other open mic discussion items? Sounds like not. We could end this early, have a half meeting. Sounds like we're good to go. I like to let it sit for a minute just in case, you know, the thing comes up in your head right as we're about to close always. So, all right. Sounds like we're good to go though. So thank you everyone for joining today. And I'm going to stop the recording. Bye, YouTube.